Hey, what's up, you guys? Today we're going to be discussing the astrology of Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni. Now, earlier this week, actress Blake Lively accused her director and co star, Justin Baldoni, of sexual harassment on the set of the movie It Ends With Us. She explains that he literally tried to destroy her reputation in a legal complaint that she made earlier this week. In the complaint, Lively accuses Baldoni and the studio of embarking on a multi-tiered plan to damage her reputation following a meeting in which she and her husband, Ryan Reynolds, addressed repeated sexual harassment and other disturbing behavior by Baldoni and a producer on the movie. The complaint filed with the California Civil Rights Department accused Baldoni of sexual harassment during filming, as well as retaliation against Lively, after she raised issues about his on-set behavior. She alleged that Baldoni hired a crisis publicity firm to engage in a social manipulation campaign to smear her while they were promoting the film this summer. An attorney for Baldoni called the allegations categorically false, outrageous, and intentionally salacious, and accused Lively of trying to salvage her reputation. Now, this story, It Ends With Us, is supposed to be about domestic violence. In the film, Lively portrays heroine Lily Bloom, while Baldoni plays her abusive romantic partner, Ryle Kincaid. It became evident in August of 2024 that Baldoni was not doing interviews with other members of the cast, though he was a lead actor and the director and the producer of this film. He did not take photos with the other actors at the premiere, though others joined in red carpet group photos. So, you guys, apparently there is an 80-page document explaining all of the things that Justin Baldoni allegedly did to Blake Lively to make her uncomfortable and other people on set uncomfortable. Now, on this channel, we discuss astrology, and today I want to look at the astrology behind these stars. What are the stars saying about these two actors that is totally eclipsing this story? And another thing I want to look into is how can we look at astrology and see the intentions of people and what type of behaviors can be present depending on what signs and planets and, just we're gonna get into it. Okay, so let's start with Blake Lively's chart. So when we look at Blake Lively's chart, we see a sun in Virgo, we see the moon is in Virgo, and we see a Leo rising. Now, Blake is pretty interesting because she is actually a very, very early degree of Virgo. I would consider that a Leo cusp, and I think she is aware that she is a Leo cusp as well. You can see it actually I see the Leo cusp in her hair. Typically, people with the sun sign born on the cusp of Leo and Virgo, they have very great hair, like a good grade of hair. They know exactly how to style their hair. Because when I think of Leo, I think of a big lion mane that is kind of untamed, whereas Virgo is like very tamed hair. So that's kind of what I see a little bit with Blake Lively's sun sign. She also has Venus and Mars on top of her sun. So the woman is very beautiful. she might actually be a bit overcritical of her beauty, and that may be due to her career and people just bringing that to her attention. Her beauty is critiqued heavily. I would say maybe by herself, maybe by others, but her beauty is critiqued, and that, unfortunately, her beauty has become a part of her identity. So yeah, she's got Sun in the first house in Virgo, even though she is a Leo ascendant. So there is a little bit of Virgo in her first house. This is a very lively person. To have the Sun in the first house of our personality, it's almost like she is authentic. She is authentically her. She's not pretending to be anybody that she's not. You can see that in her astrology. She is a strong girl. And, she speaks her mind. She's got that Virgo. She's got Mercury in Virgo. So she has literally no problem speaking her mind. She has a voice. And we're definitely seeing that in this situation. She has a Virgo moon, which I think this makes her great with kids and other women and her peers. Like, she's very much a mom, girl's girl type of girl, women empowerment, understanding how to be more analytical about her feelings, but still being able to be there for people. The moon does very well in Virgo. And of course, she's got that Leo ascendant, which is giving her this beautiful hair, this beautiful body, and like amazing clothes, just glamorous, So that's kind of the basics of what I'm seeing from Blake Lively. I will get into more from her later. Okay, now let's take a look at Mr. Justin Baldoni's chart. So I see that he is an Aquarius sun. He has a Scorpio moon and a Virgo rising. So what I see typically when I think of Aquarius suns, these are people that are very intellectual, they're very smart, very unique. One thing I will say about a lot of Aquarius suns, especially the men, they can be quite handsome, depending on other placements in their birth chart. Like Mr. Baldoni here is pretty handsome, but with any Aquarius, there is something awkward about them. I think it's his lips and his chin, but he's a very handsome man, but he is kind of awkward looking. I don't know, that's just something I always notice with Aquarius people. So when you have an Aquarius sun, these people they do not have the best reputation within the zodiac. A lot of times they can be socially manipulative. Like, they are the opposite of Leo. So where Leo is a bit more diva-ish and into themselves, I guess, and selfish, Aquarius tries to come off like they're not that, but they are. And with Mr. Baldoni, he's got his sun in Aquarius in the 5th house. So the 5th house is ruled by Leo. So he basically is an Aquarius that acts like a Leo. Like, just an egotistical. It could come off as somebody who is egotistical. Or he could just be somebody that, says that they care about humanitarian issues, right? This is big Aquarius energy. They're big on community and inviting people and seeming like they are about some sort of community. But it's a lot of times it can be seen as a god complex, like they think they are the leader or a god of some sort. That's just kind of the reputation Aquarius has out here. Now, we have to talk about his moon in Scorpio because when we talk about planets being in certain zodiac signs, the planets like to be in certain signs, right? With the moon in Scorpio, the moon does not like to be in Scorpio because Scorpio is way too vengeful and manipulative, toxic, controlling, all of the bad qualities you don't want in someone's inner nature. That when you put the moon in a sign like Scorpio, it automatically perverts this person's mind, and it's not necessarily anything that they have control over. It's just the way that they react to the world. He's got Pluto and Mars conjunct his moon, which is like two very intense planets. Like, literally, Scorpio is ruled by Pluto and Mars, and it's his moon is right in between the middle of them. So there's a lot of sexual perversion that I can literally see in his chart. So, when I'm looking at Justin Baldoni's chart, this is just what I'm seeing. A sexual perversion. That is basically what is being exposed. Especially in that lawsuit. They talked about a prior addiction he had to adult movies and, his past escapades with women and his wife. Just real nasty. He is being real nasty out here, and you can see it in his moon in Scorpio. And then we've got this Virgo rising that he has, where you can see that he is just nitpicking at Blake. Now, what's interesting is that Blake is a Virgo sun and Justin has a Virgo rising. It's typical to see people come together like this when there's a sun and an ascendant connection, right? So they might actually have had the same vision on this movie, but Justin, with his Aquarius ego and that Scorpio moon controlling factor, it may have clouded his judgment and gotten in the way of the real vision that he and Blake may have agreed upon in the first place. Yeah, and Justin also has Libra in the first house. That doesn't necessarily make him a Libra rising, but I think that having Libra in the first house does add an extra quality of charm. Okay, so what he's doing is he is nitpicking at Blake Lively, like he is trying to say that he's trying to attack her ego, and just being nitpicky about it, like coming at her weight, but he's saying it in such a charming way. He basically talking about calling her fat, but he's doing it in a charming way, and I think it is very manipulative, and I think that he's using his good looks definitely within this situation. So one thing I notice about both Blake and Justin, when I look at their birth charts, Blake has her Lilith in Leo, and Justin has his Lilith in Aquarius. Now, Lilith is known as the dark side of the moon in astrology. It is like an intersexual nature that we all possess, and it is expressed differently in each zodiac sign. Now, with Blake, her Lilith is in Leo, so this is like the ultimate sex appeal, right? Blake Lively exudes sexuality. She is not trying to do it. This is coming out naturally, right? Rihanna also has this placement. Totally understand that this is somebody that is just naturally sexy. They're not trying to be, right? Now, on the opposite, where we have Justin Baldoni, his Lilith is in Aquarius, which is the opposite, the exact opposite of Blake's, right? So what would be the opposite of somebody naturally exuding sexuality? Like, if Leo represents the heart and Blake Lively's sexuality and sensuality is just naturally exuding off of her, what would an Aquarius, what would the opposite have to do? They would have to get inside of your mind, okay? This is Lilith and Aquarius. What they do is basically seduce people mentally, because they don't have that inner sexual confidence that comes from, like, Lilith and Leo. Their confidence comes from a psychological manipulation. So that's kind of my breakdown of the astrology behind Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni, because I see the manipulation tactics coming from the Aquarius Sun, the Scorpio Moon, from Mr. Baldoni, and I can see how Miss Lively, with all that Virgo energy, that just feminine, naturally feminine energy, this is not the first time that somebody has probably harassed her, and she's probably now having the courage to speak up because she finally has the power to. She has that voice now. She's got that Virgo, Mercury, which automatically just amplifies her voice. She's got the sun there, Venus, Mars, like she's got her man there, so that is the message that I wanted to put out there. This is what I'm seeing in the stars. Now, was I there? No. Can I tell you exactly what happened? Of course not. But all I can say is the stars are looking good in Miss Lively's favor. Everything that she has detailed in her legal complaint, you can see it in Mr. Baldoni's astrology chart. So I encourage you guys to have a discussion about this in my comment section and see what you guys have to say. All right, thank you guys for watching. Bye.